That voice in your head right now, the one that's been running since you woke up this morning, commenting, judging, planning, replaying that awkward thing that you said, 3 years ago. Here's what's really wild is like you've probably never once questioned whether that voice is actually you. I didn't, not for decades. I just assumed that, the voice and I were the same thing. It talked and I listened. It worried. I felt anxious. It criticized. I felt small. And it seemed obvious, right? Like the voice, it was me. I was the voice. Until one day I realized something, and that this something really it changed everything. I'm not the voice. I'm the one listening to it. And that distinction, that I promise you, for a lot of people, that's going to wreck everything you think you know about yourself. But let me ask you something. Have you ever noticed that you can't predict your next thought? Try it right now. What's the next thought going to be? You don't know. You can't know. And thoughts just they appear. They show up uninvited, like guests to a party that you didn't throw. And yet somehow, and this is crazy, we walk around thinking like we are thinking our own thoughts. That's what we think. That we're the ones authoring them, choosing them, creating them, doing that on purpose, right? But the thing is if you were really the one creating your thoughts, wouldn't you know that before they arrived? You don't. They just pop up out of nowhere, right? And then here's the sneaky part is they appear in first person. I should call this person, or I'm not good enough for this. I wonder what's for lunch. Because they arrive wearing the costume of I. We assume that they are us, but they're not. And this isn't philosophy, this is neuroscience. Your unconscious mind, it processes roughly 11 million bits of information per second. And then your conscious mind, about 50 bits. So 11 million versus 50. And so that means for the vast majority of what's happening in your brain, the pattern recognition, the decision making, even your emotional response is happening completely outside your awareness. And then the conscious mind, that 50-bit sliver, that takes credit for all of it. And it's much like a press secretary stepping up to the podium to announce the decisions that were made by somebody else entirely. And so we've decided to feel anxious today. We've concluded that this person can't be trusted. We're going with the salad for lunch, right? Meanwhile, the actual decision happening that's really happening is happening somewhere else, milliseconds before the conscious mind even caught wind of it. And so you're not the president, you're not the narrator, and the narrator is always a few steps behind you, right? Frantically just constructing a story about why things are happening the way that they are. And so here's what this means for your life. Every time that you've said, I think, or I believe, or I decide, you might have been wrong entirely about actually who was doing the thinking and believing and deciding. And that's not a small thing. That voice that you've been obeying your entire life, the one that tells you you're not ready, you're too small, you're not worthy of the thing that you want. That voice isn't you. It's just software. And here's the really uncomfortable part is it's software you didn't install. Think about that. Where did that voice come from? Because I promise you, it started way before you were even conscious enough to even question it. It happened while you were learning to walk, learning to talk, learning what made your parents smile and what made your friends like you. You absorbed everything. Your parents' fears, your cultures, all the assumptions, the rules and everything that kept you safe in a world you didn't yet understand. All of that got loaded into an operating system, into your subconscious, and it's been running ever since. And so that critical voice that says you're not good enough, you might really you've downloaded that from a teacher, probably in third grade. And so that anxious loop about money, that could have been your grandmother's depression era, her survival programming. And so that belief that you have to work twice as hard to be taken seriously, most definitely probably installed before you even hit puberty, right? None of it is you. It's just code that's been executing so long that you forgot it was even code. And so you're not the voice. Then what are you? Let me show you. Like right now, thoughts are happening, right? Maybe you're agreeing with what I'm saying. Maybe you're not. Maybe you're skeptical as hell. Maybe you're thinking about, what to have for dinner. But here's the question. What is aware of those thoughts? And don't answer it with another thought. Like you have to just look at the thing, right? There's something watching, something noticing, something that exists whether thoughts are present or not. That is you. Not the thoughts. It's the awareness which thoughts appear. So it works like this. And think of it like this. You've spent your whole life in the dark. Like, think of it like a movie theater. You've absorbed the film, all of these movies that you forgot you were even watching, right? You forgot you were even watching the movie. And so the drama on that screen that you're watching, it felt like your life. Like the characters felt like you. And when they suffered, you suffered. When they worried, you worried. But here's the thing. You were never in the movie. You were always in the seat just watching the movie. And so that moment, like the moment that you actually remember that you were not in the movie, the moment that you notice that you are the one watching, not the one on the screen, but sitting in the seat, that's when everything changes. So let me break it down this way. And like in a way that's going to show you exactly where you've been trapped, where I was trapped, and where most people are trapped. And I call this the conscious stack. And there's 4 layers to this experience. So level 1 is sensation. It's raw data. It's pure input. It's like light hitting your eyes, sound waves hitting your ears, pressure on your skin. This is the bottom data stream before your brain actually turns it into anything. And so before tree or car or threat, it's raw information. And so most people, they never experience this level because their interpretation happens so fast, it just feels instant. And then level 2 is preparation. This is where your brain takes raw data and it creates a story. It pattern matches against memories that's in your mind. And so it creates objects. That's a tree. That's a car. That's a threat, And so here's the first illusion of what's happening is like you're thinking you are seeing reality, but you're not. You're seeing your brain's model of reality. It's a construction. And a best guess is like it's basing it all on past experiences. And then level 3, that is thought. So this is the thing that's running all the commentary. It's the narrator, the voice that it just never shuts up, right? I like this. I don't like that. What does this mean? What should I do? Like, why did they look at me? Like most people, they live here permanently. And they're so fused with that narrative that they think the narrative is reality. And when the voice says, I'm anxious, they become anxious. When it says, I'm not enough, they feel insufficient. When it says like, this is terrible, like they experience terror. And so they're hostage to a narrator that they never chose. And then level 4 awareness, this is the witness. This is like, it's the one that, the one that notices the sensation, right? The one that notices perception, the one that notices thought itself. And so this doesn't think, it witnesses thinking. And this doesn't like perceive, it witnesses perception. And so this is the unchanging screen on which the movie plays, right? And this is exactly like what you actually are. And so here's the tragedy, like through all of this, like most people operate exclusively from level 3. They identify with the thoughts, like they're merged, their mind and everything, their reality with the narrator. And so they're convinced that the voice is them. And they spend their entire lives like prisoner in a cell that they didn't even know existed. And the door is just locked. Like it was, and the thing is it was never locked. They just never looked up to see that they could leave, right? It's just the door looks shut, and it might be shut, but it's unlocked, but they just think that it's locked. And so what I really want you to understand is like, try something like right now, just for a minute. Like sit and close your eyes, and you don't have to close your eyes, but it works better. Just close your eyes and like notice that thoughts are happening. Don't try to stop them. That's impossible. Like very, very hard to do. Just notice that they're there and ask yourself, like, what is aware of these thoughts? And don't answer with a thought. Don't say I am, like, my brain's aware or anything clever. Just look at the thoughts. Point your attention at whatever is doing the noticing, like of the thought. And there's something there, like something prior to the thought, something watching the thought as it comes in. That is you, not the thoughts. It's the space in which thoughts appear. So if you rest there for just a moment, just a second, let the thoughts come and go, much like clouds, moving across the sky. The sky doesn't grab the clouds. It doesn't fight them. It doesn't try even to push them away. They drift in, and what it is you are the sky. You've always been the sky. You just forgot because you were so busy staring at the clouds. And here's where most people really go wrong about this, is they think the goal is to stop the thinking. That is not the goal. You can't stop thinking. It's very hard to do. Like, very few people in the world can do that. If you can reach that place, then that's wonderful. But the brain produces thoughts like the heart produces heartbeats, right? Yes, you might be able to stop your heart. There's some people who could slow it down to like very few beats, but that's not the point. Like, it's that your brain is what it does. Your heart is what it does. The goal isn't to stop thinking. The goal is to stop being identified with the thinking. And that is the massive difference, is like when you identify with every thought, every thought's going to feel like a command. Worry about this, feel bad about that. You're not good enough. And you just obey automatically, reflexively. And so when you are aware of the thoughts, when you're the witness rather than the content of the thoughts happening, like they just become suggestions, options, if you will. And so they're invitations that you can accept or decline. And so the thought, I'm not good enough, it'll still arise, but instead of becoming that thought, you notice it's arising. You notice the cloud forming. And so you see it for what it is. It's just old software, like running automatically. And you can choose not to engage and just let it come through. And you're not doing this through force, not through suppression. It's just through awareness. Like awareness itself, it is freedom. And so for me, like before I realized this, like my life felt like something that was happening to me. Every thought felt like my reality. Every fear felt, it felt justified, right? And so every self-criticism, it felt true. I was the puppet, and I didn't even know there were strings on me, right? And after, like, the thoughts still happen, like fear still arises, the inner critic still shows up, but I know that I'm not the puppet. I am the one who can see all the strings, and that changes everything, right? That changes reality and creation and how you live. And so my life stopped being a movie that I was trapped in, because and really like what it became was a movie that I was watching. The drama still plays, but I'm in the seat now. And from that seat, I can enjoy the movie without believing that I'm going to die when like a hero gets shot or something, right? Or the lion is chasing you. And so here's what I want you to walk away with. That voice in your head, the one that's been running the show since your childhood. It's not you. It's just software. And really it's old software that was installed way before you could even evaluate whether it was true or even useful or even yours. And so you've been obeying that code that you didn't even write. But the moment that you realize that there's something behind that voice, something watching, something aware, you are no longer a prisoner. You are free. And not because the voice stops, not because you finally know you really didn't have to listen to it in the first place. And here's the question that, like, this should haunt you. If you're not the thinker, who installed the thoughts that you've been thinking? That's when we're going to dive into that in the next video, because we're going to go even deeper into this, like, and get more unsettling, because your beliefs are the power. Because here's what nobody tells you. Like, you don't have beliefs. Your beliefs have you. And they're not, conclusions that you reached. They are programs that selected you as their host. And they've been running your life without your permission for years, decades, hell, your entire life. But that's for the next time. For now, just sit with this, like what we've talked about. You are not the voice. You are what is aware of the voice. And that awareness, it was free the whole time. You just forgot to look.